Live from New York, let's break some up. You're listening to Shatter the Glass with your sister from another mister, Yane.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, people. I'm excited. Every session I'm excited, I know. But today I'm really excited because I have my sister friend Sabrina Thomas coming in to shatter the glass with us on this episode. Sabrina is a mom, soon-to-be wife, entrepreneur, woman empowerment speaker for moms with autistic children. She's well-rounded. She's just a dope soul. I love this sister. Ever since we met at a conference, 2017, I believe, she's just been a great sister friend and super supportive. She's also an author, and we're going to talk to her about her books. Excited to learn so much more. There's so much knowledge in my sister friend that I can't wait to have her share the stage with us as we dive deep on the things that she has going on and what 2023 looks like for her. I just heard she got an awesome retreat, awesome conference coming. And so I want y'all to get in line and support this conference and get these jewels. All right. And so without further ado, I want to get into it. Let me bring Sabrina on in. Woo!
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How's everything?
Everything is good. I'm happy to be here. Happy Saturday.
Listen, okay, so one thing I'm just gonna let you know, when you say something that's like dope, you're gonna hear that glass shatter. And so, I don't want you to be like, what's that noise? No, honey, you just shattered the glass, okay?
I got you. I like that.
Yes. I am so excited to meet and speak with you. One is like a catch-up session, but two, let's dive deep on what you got going on and what you've been doing out here in the world and shaking things up. My first question is, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I think it inspired me to be honest, because it was not something I've ever thought that I would want to do. I wanted to work in corporate. I never had a desire to be an entrepreneur. My parents were entrepreneurs, as well as, had a 9-to-5. But when I had my son, I have a son that's special. He's a 22. He's an adult, but I'm his caregiver. He's autistic. He has cerebral palsy and intellectual disability, just to name a few. There's some other stuff. I'd be here all day naming his things. Right. When he got to a certain age, because when you're small, it's like just like a baby. They're growing and developing and everything. When as he was getting older, it kind of hit me like, I got to do something different. The plan my plan is not going to be like the same plan I had for my oldest son, who, doesn't have anything going on with him, just a normal everyday child. I realized because of his sickness, because of his illness, because of his disability, that there's going to become a time in my life where I'm just going to have to stop. And you know how it is when you're working a 9-to-5 job. You can take family leave, you can take a couple of days off, but I'm saying stop. Like I had to stop for 2 years.
Oh wow.
My son was on oxygen. He had a stroke. We went on vacation. We went on a Royal Caribbean cruise. He had a stroke on the cruise.
Oh my God.
In the Virgin Islands. So it's like, this is different. Okay. And I realized at some point, this 9-to-5 will not work for me. I was in denial about it because, like I said, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I think I got a taste of it. Somebody approached me about being in an anthology. And I said, no. I'll be honest. I was like, I don't even read books. I ain't reading books. So I know I ain't writing one. No, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I don't even read books. Like, I'm not reading a book. I don't want to write. I don't want to do that. But it kept coming back, the same person, and it kept coming back. And I said, you know what? I mean, it just literally kept coming. Like I kept seeing it on Facebook. It kept popping up. Somebody was reaching out, and I was like, well, nobody wants to hear what I got to say. You know how we do. We talk ourselves out of stuff.
Talk ourselves out of it.
Don't nobody care about Sabrina Thomas's story. But long story short, I did it. I did it. And I did it scared because I didn't know. Like I said, I wasn't even really reading books and, doing that. I'm like flipping through a magazine, reading little articles here and there, but I wasn't really a book reader. I wasn't doing that. So I did it, and it changed my life because that was my first one. And I'm on number 16.
16?
16, yes.
I didn't.
Yeah, 16. 16. I got all these books right here. Oh, 16. I co-authored. I had my own anthology I just published in August, and I'm on my second one, but I did 14 other ones with other people. So, it's almost like, that joke, that message where it says, you think about your plans, you'll laugh at what God has planned for you, because I never planned on being an author. I just told you, I was like, I ain't even reading books. So, but now I'm reading books. Like I'm on audio every other week with a new one. Like I'm reading everything. Like I'm reading. That's all I'm doing is reading now. You can't stop me from reading. But that wasn't my plan. Gotcha. That wasn't my plan. But I prayed about it, and I love it. You know what I love? The connections with women and men. Well, most of them been women, but there's some men in some of the anthologies. But it's the connecting with different women all over the world. Some of them are in, Dubai, the UK, or wherever they're at, and just meeting different people and just connecting and supporting different women. Because every anthology I've been on, I've met somebody new, 2 or 3 or 4 people new that I didn't know. Sometimes it's a repeat person, but most of the time it's somebody new. It's a different experience. Right. So little by little, I was sharing bits and pieces of Sabrina Thomas's journey in these chapters, in these books. And I absolutely love it. I love it. I started an anthology last year, The Girl Don't Count Yourself Out, volume 1, because I wanted to give that feeling that I was getting from these anthologies to other women, new, inspiring authors that were, looking for a platform, as well as, that's what I was doing. Because it's scary to me to write a book like all by myself. Like, okay, but I always tell someone, if you want to write a book and you just want to tap into and get your feet wet, join an anthology. Make sure it's aligned with what you're doing, though. It has to be aligned with what you're doing, because I can confess, there's a couple anthologies I joined that were not aligned with me. I just was popping on them because I was just trying to get some credibility and just trying to get out there. I had no business in it, but I did learn something. And I learned that, by being in that anthology. And there were anthologies I joined that wasn't supposed to be on, paid my money, and came to them and said, look, I can't do this because this is not aligned with what God told me to do. But I don't want my money back. I'm just telling you, I can't do this. Because I knew at that point, as I started growing and getting clear, that when I hit that paid button and when it came time to writing, I was a different person. I was growing and learning. So now I'm real careful about what I'm doing. It has to be aligned with my vision. It has to be aligned with what I'm doing. And it's okay to tell people, no, I cannot do that. Because if it's not aligned with what God has for me and my brand, I can't participate. I can support you. Right. But that doesn't mean I need to participate.
I like that. I'm over here note taking. So people, please make sure you have your pen and your paper. Okay. Don't come to Shatter the Glass without a pen and a paper, because you're going to be missing these jewels, or you're going to be hitting the rewind button. And I mean, it's all right to hit the rewind button. I'm just saying, come prepared. Come to Shatter the Glass prepared. Because I'm already writing. I'm like, oh yeah, make sure everything's in alignment. I like that. All right. I'm still blown away. I did not know you was in 16 bucks. I'm like, that is like, wow. Yeah. I love it though.
I think even the ones maybe I weren't supposed to be in, or I kind of dabbled in, because it just made me, this made me a better writer because every experience I had to learn how, like I said, I wasn't a reader. I wasn't a writer either. So I was writing and I'm growing and then my story's changing. And, we as women, we don't have this one story. We have stories. We grow every year, every day. We have lessons and testimonies and messages to people. So it's always, because somebody said to me one day, what you gonna write about now? Oh, I got stories, honey. I'm living life. I mean, we all should have something new to talk about. I mean, if you don't, that might be the problem in itself, I'm growing every day. I'm changing. We go through stuff. We grow through stuff. So I got stories. We all have stories. It's just a matter of, do you want to share your story? And it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't have to be an author. It's just, that's who I am that's who I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm a visionary.
I feel that. I love it. I love that. What pushed you to really come out to be this author? You kind of already answered that. But how was it that you got into your first collaborative anthology? Like, what was it about?
The very first one that I said no to 5 times and finally said yes, and thank God for my yes. It was Moments in Life, Story of a Caregiver. Oh. And that was so personal. And I met some wonderful people. And everybody in that anthology, to this day, I have meaningful relationships. Everybody, meaningful relationships. Some of them more than others. But I talked about being a mom of an adult son with special needs. Talk about being a caregiver. My son, is autistic. He has cerebral palsy. And talking about that journey, I shared snippets of that journey about being a caregiver, how I found out what I felt going through the school systems with the IEPs, being frustrated, all that, about that, and going through that emotion and, still going through that because I think 7 years ago or 6 years ago, 7 years ago when I read that, I was still going through it. My son is still in high school. He's 22. He graduates in June. So you still go through every year is something. You still have to go through with these teachers. You still have to deal with other parents. You still have to deal with the doctors. It's still a journey. And even after he gets out of school, then I have a new journey. Okay, so he's not in school. He doesn't have an IEP. He's a technically adult, but then where does he go? Where's the programs? I gotta still fight for him as his advocate because he's nonverbal. So it's always a journey. It just changes as a mom, dealing with him as as his caregiver. It's just changes. It's just different. So I'm still a mom, still a caregiver. It's just a different journey. So there's always something to share. There's always something I can give somebody else or help somebody else along the way that has this coming, but they're not there yet. And I can share my experience so they don't have to go through something that I know better now and I can share it with them. So we can always educate and teach somebody. It's like reach one, teach one. We can always do that, So that's what I'm doing. If you're behind me a couple of years with the child, let me tell you what happened, what I did. So you don't have to go through the same thing. If I had issues, that kind of thing. So
definitely. I like to learn from everything and everybody. Just because you don't know, sometimes it might not apply to you, but you may know someone else who you can now share that same story with and say, well, listen, a girlfriend of mine did this, that, and the third. You need to think about these things for your own situation. Ooh, I love that. Powerful. What inspired you to get into speaking though? Because that's like a whole different.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I think when you're an advocate, because I'm an advocate, okay? I always will be an advocate for my son. So when you're an advocate, that's really all that you're doing. Is I'm his voice. So you're speaking. So when people at the school or in the community where you're safe, even on Facebook, you're in a safe space, people pick up stuff. They see you on a podcast like I'm on now. They pick up stuff and people, I don't know, random people were just in my box or saying, hey, Sabrina, I heard you did this. Can you speak to these parents? And it kind of started like that. And when you have a book, it's really just a platform for something else most of the time. Now, unless you just want to say, I'm an author and you don't really do anything with the book, then it doesn't go anywhere. But I started this, I did this one book and then I did a couple of more. And then it's like, now people are seeing it. Now it's on Amazon. People are seeing the posts and they're like, So people were reaching out to me, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to do that. Like I didn't really want to do that, but then I was like, well, what was the reason why I did the book? I want people to read my chapter because it's other chapters in the book. Right. So how dare I write the chapter and don't want to speak about what I just wrote about? Like, what's the purpose? So I kind of had to get out of my own way with that, and because I'm still, sometimes you still got to be comfortable with like being on camera speaking, but at the end of the day, I knew where I was falling short and where I still fall short at. And then that's when you invest in yourself. So I invested into speaking and classes and life coaching and speaking trainer, speaker trainer, and that's what I did. And that's a continual thing. You always have to invest in yourself, keep yourself up on everything. And if you know the information, like I know about IEPs and I knew about advocacy, everything was my story. It's not hard. You just have to get comfortable with yourself. So it kind of like fell in my lap sort of because of the books that I had. I was just asked to speak about the chapter. But after you have 15 or so, you start speaking more because there's always another story. Yeah. And I knew that I wanted to be a visionary. I knew that I wanted to have my own set of authors behind me as a visionary to support them. So I knew I had to get out there and I had to start speaking more. I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
But wait. I was trying to write, then I'm like, wait, no, let me wait.
You know that you don't grow from a place of being comfortable. For years I felt as though everything was good, but no, I wasn't growing. I wasn't growing at all. I was still in the same spot, but now I'm at an uncomfortable space in my life because I'm growing. Yes. And I'm nervous, I'm scared, and that's where the elevation comes because I'm growing and I'm doing it afraid, and it feels good at the end of the day. But I know that I'm growing. We talked about this earlier about the conference. I was scared, like, okay, wait, maybe I should wait. You know how we talk ourselves up stuff. Yeah. Let's wait until we get more people. I get more. No, the time is now. I push the button, and it's gonna come because I'm doing it afraid. But that's where I'm investing in myself. I'm trusting myself. I'm stepping out on faith. I try to do more faith things and more fear things because that fear is always going to come. Whatever.
Wait. You know what you just said. Wait, more faith things, not more.
Yes, more faith things. Because I was doing the opposite. Everything was like, oh, I can't. You know what? Even with having a special needs child, okay, well, adult son now. I first said, I can't. I used to say to people all the time, I wish I could do this, but my son. But my son. So this is what I started doing. I switched that around. I have a special needs son. How can I do this? Instead of saying, I can't do this because my son. That was my excuse, my way out, because I was uncomfortable and I was fearful. So now I say, okay, well, I got my son, so let me see how I'm going to work this out. Okay, so I got to get him here. Okay, how are we going to do this? Because that's not an excuse anymore. And that's where girl don't count herself out came in. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only woman in the world that's counting themselves out. And I stopped counting myself out and I started counting on God. And when I did that, my whole life changed. And it's a work in progress. I'm not saying I got it down pat. I'm not saying that every now and then I have to check myself, but I stopped counting myself out and I started counting on God. And when I got God involved in my business, changes come too. Because I used to do all these things. And I'm like, oh, I know I'm supposed to do this. I knew I was supposed to do that. But I didn't ask him nothing. I just did it because I just wanted to do it. And I assumed that that's what he wanted from me too, because that's what I said. But I never asked him first. So now we have a discussion. People have like their business coaches. He's my business coach. I go to him first. He's free, right? Yeah. I got He's free, right? You can't get no better than free. He is free. Okay, I can call him all the time at night, all mornings. You know how it is, girl. Yeah. I can wake up in the middle of the night. I can talk to him all day, every day. He is free and he'll give me what I need, but I just gotta listen. I just
Yes.
gotta wait and listen. He might not tell me back then, but he'll tell me. I just have to be able to hear him when he says, "This is what I want you to do," and things work out better. That doesn't mean that it ain't gonna, it ain't gonna go left. Everything's not gonna be, done, bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Everybody got to go through and go through stuff, right? We got to do the work.
Got to do the work.
But I have to go to him first. We all have to go to him. We all should go to him first.
Yes.
All should go to him first. Whoever your higher power is, go to him first. So that makes a difference as well. That makes a difference.
You still got to get that. Yes. Yes. I'm taking my notes. No, that is so powerful. I mean, you said something there. We do often count ourselves out. We do come up with all of the reasons why we shouldn't and can't. I don't know why we're programmed that way either. Yes. I haven't figured that part out. Mm-hmm. Other than I know to step in this lane of entrepreneurship, it takes a different shift in your mindset, as well as you being accountable to yourself. And your faith and belief in yourself has to be at a high standpoint just to get started. I'm not even saying to maintain and sustain, because that too takes a different level of growing and shifting, right? But when you first start, you're right. It's kind of like, am I doing this right? I mean, you're ramped up with excitement, but then you're also ramped down with, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. And it's so funny because in my interview with the other guest, Edward Hilks, we talked about people investing in themselves and stuff. And what is it that draws people back from being scared to invest in themselves? Because if it's not a money thing, then what else is holding you back? Because we know people will say, I don't have the money for that right now. Which is fine, but that's why I like that you said God is my business coach and He's free. Because now you don't how do you back out of that? You know what I mean? I'll have the funds to call God. Like, wait, what?
Yes.
You can't say that. And so that's why that's we got to make sure that message gets put out there. Wait, no, God free.
He's free. Yeah.
God is free. I don't know. That just tickles me. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. How did you decide to create now these coloring books and stuff that you have? Because I mean, you got a lot. I don't want people to be confused now. My girl is an author, but she's also a speaker. But she also now has these not just books for you to read, but now she has coloring books you did with your son, right?
Yeah. So again, during the pandemic, we were all home, behind these computers and everything. School was out for like almost 2 years, year and a half, and people kept asking me. Somebody asked me one day in the pandemic, what are you going to do with your son? What's going to happen when your son graduates? Because he's graduating, 2023 this year. And I was like, I kind of stumbled because I'm in the community. I know what's going on, but in the pandemic, you're like, I don't know. It was looking kind of bad for us. So it's like, I don't know what's going to be available. Do I want him to go over here? How long is Corona and her friends going to be around? I don't know. So I said to myself, I want to find something up for him that he likes, okay? And during the pandemic, he started coloring because we were in a house, we had to do stuff, couldn't do so much stuff. And he started coloring. I was going to the dollar store buying stuff, for my grandson too, for him to color. And he was coloring. He was like, I want to color. He was pointing to the books, pointing to the crayons. So I was like, okay, I know he's older, but if he wants to color, we got to meet kids where they are. I'm going to let him color. So I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should create a film. No, I ain't going to do that. I talked myself out of it. And then I was like, let me find something else. And I said, he likes to sing and dance. And I said, oh, no, that ain't going to go. Okay. No, he can't sing and dance. That ain't going to work. So let's go back to the coloring. And that's what I did. I thought about it. I got a name, and I had 4 or 5 names, and I prayed about it. And Color with Omar kept coming back. Color with Omar, and that's the coloring book line. Color with Omar, because I created the books for him with his assistance, just for children. Okay, and now we're working on an adult line. Um, so the books, how it happens is because he's nonverbal, he can talk. So he only says a certain amount of words, and he's talking to me, maybe his teachers, but he can't have a full-fledged conversation. Right. So what I do is I pick a number between 27 and 50, because you have to have at least 27 pages. I think that's on Amazon or whatever. So I pick a number between 27 and 50, whatever number he says. Okay, whatever that number, that's the number of the pages is going to be in that coloring book. Okay, so the first one was an educational book. I kind of did that one. The second one was Thanksgiving. So, because it was right around, I wanted to launch it on his birthday. His birthday is October 29th. He comes Thanksgiving. So I picked out all these pictures for Thanksgiving photos for kids, favorite foods or whatever. And whatever he picked out, okay, I told him to pick out, whatever. That's what I grabbed. I put it in a scan folder. I scanned it, and I had somebody illustrate something that was similar to that.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Omar's favorite foods, Omar things for Thanksgiving, the traditional things, that kids want to color, turkeys and, whatever, family time and whatever, couple quotes and whatever. But I let him be a part of it in his own way. He can't, of course, I'm not an illustrator either. I had to hire somebody to do that. But I said, Omar, what's your favorite? I know he likes turkey. I know he likes ham. He likes mac and cheese. He likes biscuits. So in the book, it has things for traditional stuff, kids can color. And then Omar's favorites. So each book, it's about learning, but then it's also about Omar. Christmas was about Christmas and the holidays, but it's also about the things that Omar likes to do during the holidays. So each book, you learn a little bit about the co-creator, which is him. And so it's not about me at all. I'm putting it together. I want it to be fun for kids to learn, but you learn about springtime. You learn what he likes to do in spring. What's some of his favorite things he likes at it, like in summertime, like for when he goes to a picnic or a barbecue. His ice cream and his cookies and stuff. I'm teaching at the same time children, but I'm also letting people get to know him, because this is a way for people to get to know who he is. Without verbally talking, just learning. These are his things that he likes. Not about Sabrina. And I actually just did that so he can have something in writing in this world for him. So when you Google his name, that comes up because he's the co-author, so to say. I'm putting it together, but with his, what he's telling me as he's pointing to what the pictures are, I'm getting them illustrated. I did that so he can have something in this world of his own. So my son, he's 29, my oldest son. He can work and have his job. He can go to college. He don't want to though. But he got his own money. He got his own family and his own home. Omar will never be able to do that. I mean, and that's okay. Everybody's not able to do that. But he will be able to say that in this world, he co-authored the book. He's on Amazon. You Google it, it comes up. That's something for him. Now, I didn't do it so he can make $1 million, but you never know. If Oprah sees his video, she might, put it on her website. You never know what's going to happen. I just did that because I believe everybody has purpose.
Yes.
And if at that time his purpose was, to be, to get together with this coloring book and do that, that's his purpose. But everybody has purpose. Everybody deserves to have a purpose, to have something of their own in life. And because he can't work a job and fill out an application and do that, I want to give him as his mother something of his own. So he sees these coloring books, they're all on his wall. He looks at them, he sees them at somebody's house, and he'd be like, Omar, that's me. That's a proud moment. I'm assuming he don't say that, but I would like to think that when he's walking somewhere and sees that, I have him in a local hospital. So when I went to visit a friend of mine, I took him with me. So we went to the gift shop, and I said, "Oh, what's that?" And he said, "Omar, that's me." He didn't say nothing else, but I would like to think that inside his soul, that felt good, that he knew that he was in a store, not in his house, that he saw his face. When he goes to my family members' houses and they're on the table,
it's powerful.
That's what I wanted for him, because nobody else can do that.
Yes.
nobody else can do that. That was my job as his mom to do that for him. If I can't do anything else, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
And that's how
that
Omar came
is
about.
that is so unique, so powerful, so inspiring. I want to just say kudos to you because yes, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Omar is not limited at
That's
all
right. Yeah.
in what he can still do and be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That just warms me. It really, really do. I just love that. And I was gonna say, because now as a new mom, I'm catching up
Uh-huh.
on what's trending. And we love Gracie's Corner. Like my son, as soon as he see this girl, he is smiling. He's
Really?
like he's all excited. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop once he sees that. Like that's the only thing that stops him from crying.
Oh, wow.
Literally. Yes, yes. And so I'm thinking, right? I mean, if you already have the illustrator and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
she's only got like her videos are like 5 minutes on YouTube. And she's just singing the ABCs. I mean, do it with Omar too. I mean, it's just a suggestion, it's just a thought. Because as you were
Yeah.
saying that, I'm
You
like,
know what?
why not?
I thought
Why
about something
not
like that
Omar?
too, but I don't know if he would say the ABCs on demand.
Right.
Like, because he's autistic, like, it's almost like when you ask him a question, sometimes I'll say, when he comes home from school, what did you have for lunch? Let's say it's 2:00. I might not get an answer to 2:30. He has to process what I just said.
Got it.
So he'll walk around and then he'll come back to me. He will say cheeseburger. And I'm like, you want a cheeseburger? And he'll say, no, for lunch. And I forgot that I even asked him.
Ask him.
So, that's what it is. But you know what was cool? I'm going to share this with you because this is so cool. A friend of mine, a cousin friend of mine, she had a daycare center and she works at a daycare center. And during the holiday last year, not this year, but the first year it came out, she had bought the coloring books and they were having like a Christmas party in the daycare center. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how my brain is going. And then she sent me the video and she says, what are we doing? And they were like, coloring. Who are we coloring with? Omar. It was the cutest thing. I mean, literally, I was bawling because these 6 or 7 kids were in the classroom coloring with Omar, coloring Christmas stuff, and they knew what they were doing. And it's called Color with Omar. And I said, yeah. So, like, this summer, my ear, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be
Listen, but you can still do digital coloring and stuff too. Like,
Yes.
even if it's not his voice, or capturing moments. I don't know, but I don't know. That came to me as you were talking. Like,
yeah, I think I have to figure out a way how to figure it out. He might not can say the ABCs like if we're on but he might not say it on demand. He says it when he gets ready. Like if I say,
right.
I say ABC, he might say, look at me like, okay, well, don't you tell me what, like whatever. But I just have to figure out how to do it because I got the books out. I'm still getting more books, done. And I just have to figure out the marketing, how what's the next plan for it? Because this is not it. Like this is just the beginning of it. You know how it is when you're growing something in your mind, you got to put it out, and then like it's like the next step. But I'm like daycare. When I saw that video with the daycare center, it gave me an idea. Like, oh, all these local daycare centers,
or subscription boxes of coloring with Omar.
Yeah, I thought about that. That's on I got that written down too. And having little things, having little meetups and dropping stuff out at the elementary schools because they're for children. So, these are for kids. It's not for grown folks. They're for kids. You know what I'm saying? And then I had sometimes I do a pop-up and you buy a coloring book, I give you a box of crayons. And there's this company that has crayons, but they're crayons that have for I think they're called brown crayons because it's different kind of crayons for that you can draw for different people, for African American faces. It's not black and brown. It's like 15 colors of browns. Like your shade is different than mine. It's this for the pecan tan, the caramel chew, that kind of thing. Everybody is different. It's not just a black and brown crown. Yes. There's only 2 crayons in the box. Either you're gonna be black or you're gonna be brown. But between that.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, light skin, red bone. I mean, all that.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. But my juices are flowing, so I kind of put it on a back burner. But now that I'm talking to you, you got me. You got me like thinking again.
Yeah, no, because as you talking, I'm just getting it. Like, nah. Make sure you tell Sabrina to think about this, because I look.
I need that now because he's graduating high school, so I got to figure out the next plan for Omar because my visions were like, Omar needs to go on tour. You got to get this together.
I mean, I don't know if you have a graduation book, but Omar could do a graduation one.
No, I do not.
Yeah, I look at it like this: if you do subscriptions, then doing specialties, right? So here's the Omar's graduation one. Here's our holiday one. Here's our welcome to, you know what I mean? That or or Omar's favorite holidays, things that he likes to do, or the things that are, if he has favorite colors.
We're working on one called Travel with Omar because he loves to travel. It's about the places he's been and where he wants to go. Things that he do, and then it still educates you. What can you do?
Educates you.
Things to do, and things to do.
Yes.
As you travel.
Yes. Girl.
That's the limit. Sky is the limit.
Let's get Omar these points.
That's what it is to be an entrepreneur and learning and growing, just to step outside the box. And that's why I like to be connected with different people as yourself, because since we've been on the phone, on this call, I've learned a lot. You learned a lot, just from each other.
Yes.
That's what growing and investing your time. It's not always money. It could be networking.
Yeah.
It could be just making a connection, disconnecting with somebody, learning a little bit about, the other person, because I don't know everything. You don't know everything, but we come from different walks of life, but we learn from each other.
Yes.
And that's what entrepreneuring and investing is really all about. Mindset, changing your mindset, being able to think outside the box.
Yes, and think about what's possible.
Yeah, what's possible.
I love to live in that space. Like me and my husband, we go back and forth over that because it's a cultural thing too. But I'm like, there's no limit. Like, I will think of all of the craziest things. Like, I'd be like, Yane, I don't know about that. I'm like, you don't know, but I know.
Yes, my fiance is the same way, and I think it's a cultural thing too. And he doesn't get it. And then even like when I was, starting my business, my mom, she's old school. She's like, "You gonna do what? You better get that check. Better go to your job." But I said, "Mom, you and Dad had a business together, at one time." And she said, "That was different." No, it's not. She does. I guess that business of driving trucks and having a trucking company, she understood that. But when I say the space I'm in now and stuff, she's like, I don't get it. Like, baby, keep your job though. You still want them benefits, and she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. I think she's scared for me, but I'm like, I'm scared for you too. But I try to have more faith episodes than I have fear episodes. And of course, you're not trying to be stupid. Like, nobody's going to say, "Oh, I want to do this," and you throw away all your money. It's a process. And that's what I'm in. But you have to. Somebody asked me the other day, where do you work at full time? I said, Sabrina Thomas LLC. It was like, no, you work for Marriott. I said, no, that's my part-time job. Because it is. I don't work full-time hours there. I work part-time hours there. Okay. But my full-time job is Sabrina Thomas LLC. I only work there 15, 20 hours a week, and I had to learn to shift that because I was saying that I was working for Marriott part-time and my business is a little side hustle. Because if you keep saying that, that's how you're going to carry it, right?
Yes.
I started carrying it like, oh, no. Y'all the side hustle. And Sabrina Thomas LLC, my coaching and speaking and my advocacy, being author, that's my full-time job. And now Marriott is a part-time job. Now I'm keeping the part-time job. I travel. That's benefits and perks of, discounts of being still with my foot in the door. But you're my part-time job. Sabrina Thomas LLC is my full-time job. And you have to speak it and believe it and feel that. Because if I keep saying the other thing, that's what it's going to be. Yes.
I'm just saying. No, that's enlightening for me because, you know, as I'm just starting out with Shatter the Glass, I have no idea. Like I told the previous two guests, this for me was fun. This is a part of my outlet for right now.
Yes.
And my way of networking and still learning, right? Seeing now with the new baby, where am I going, right? So, but I do want to move into the space of taking all of this very serious because I don't know where this can go. And there is a lot of people who have made a lot of success off of their podcasts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And really grew. And so I'm having fun. I've done radio before, but I mean, I was a kid. I was early college years. And so now I look at it like, no, run this as a business. So I'm glad that you said that because it was confirmation for my spirit to hear. No, you're saying you're having fun with it, but you need to take it serious and run it like a business.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we'll see where it goes and how, you know, but I like so far I've been enjoying it. I just been enjoying talking to people.
Yeah. You're a people person. You're a people person anyway. When we met at that conference a long time ago, it's like I met a few people at that conference. Two off the top of my head. You're one of them that I actually still talk to. Like, you know, you see people, and you're like, oh yeah, I think I saw her at that conference outside of April. I was like, you and Star Holmes were one of the people that I'm like, I kept in touch with. Like, you know, we made a connection. You know,
Well, we was conference besties that weekend, honey, because it was like,
yes.
It was like, what's going on in here?
Yeah,
and, you know,
but you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I never said this to you. I was fairly new. And I think when I saw you, I think I was doing the business, but not in business. And let me tell you, that's not the same. People be like, "Oh, I got a business," and I'm in business, but I ain't got no business license, ain't got no pay no taxes. That was me at that conference. Okay, I didn't have a business. I was thinking of doing stuff, and I might have had a book or two. But I wasn't in business. I'm in business now. And I saw you and I was like, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I was a little intimidated. You were cool.
Really?
But yes, I was like, whoa, because she for real. Like, you know, you real. Like, you real. And I remember, and I'm going to tell you this. I remember April asked a question one day. We were in a conference and she asked a question, like it was a monetary question. Like she wanted to see where people were at, like who has been in business, had made this much in the and you stood up. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wow, she for real? She got a what? And that just kind of inspired me because I was asking you questions. You were talking and you were doing your thing. And I was like, oh, she's for real. She's not fake. Like she's not a fake business person. You were real. And, you know, I learned about your business, you know, the school and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, I thought you was bad. Still think you are bad to the bone. And I was like, it made me think because I was connected with you that weekend. And it just made me feel good that like, okay, she got this. She's doing it. Okay, I can do this too. I felt inspired. I felt a little intimidated because I wasn't in the business. I didn't have a business. I was doing business, but it made me feel proud that my sister standing next to me had it going on and made me think I can do that too. You know, I can do that too. That was a proud moment. It was like a little like, but like in a good way, not like hateration, but like, whoa, really? You education?
Yeah. It's crazy too, right? Like, so my guest that I'm actually interviewing tomorrow night is a good friend of mine, and he's like, Yane, you do a lot. You don't give yourself credit for it. I'm like, nah, because I just be doing stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's all in alignment to what I have going on. I don't try to like deviate from my script. But he was like, no. You are bigger in person than you are in virtual space. So we have this argument every year. I won't be surprised if he bring it up in his interview too, because it's like, I don't know. This space now is new for me. Right? Like I'm a person that's a more in-person person. Like, come, we gonna toast, we gonna eat, we gonna break bread. You know, we gonna have the kids in this room. We doing this, we doing that. And so, and my whole thing with having the children create their own businesses and teaching them what that looks like and making them shoot their pitch to people is real. And so, I love helping people out. I don't know. That's just another part of me, which is just like, hey, here's the information. And I got that from off of Lisa Nichols. Like, girl, now you're an informational speaker. Cool. I got a space I can identify in now. You know what I mean? Because I just like to give information. So I'll play the background and all that stuff. Like when people talk numbers, it was funny because Edward brought it up. Like, I'm not scared to mention numbers. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. Because people are scared to talk about numbers. People are scared to talk about money. It's like, look, you're either making it or you're not. And it's okay because you're going to have your day. But long as you get these other key pieces in operation together, you will see it. The numbers will formulate in itself. And if you're doing good work, they will also come.
I like the fact that your previous guest said the same thing. When he was talking about the house, he was like, people can talk about the money. Like he wasn't afraid, to talk about money. We need to talk about money. Money doesn't have to be the root of everything. And people always say, and I say this too, I'm not just about money, but I am an entrepreneur. So I do want to make money. So let's just keep it real. But I do believe, for me, when I make an impact, which I have, things come. And sometimes I don't know where it's coming from. It's the impact. I did something, I made a difference, and the money's going to come. I don't just do things for the money, but I am an entrepreneur. I do want to make money because I'm investing my money to make money in the long run, because I'm investing in coaching, I'm investing in branding, I'm investing in whatever, marketing and all the stuff that costs money. I'm just not trying to go in the hole.
Right.
I wanted to come back. It comes back in different ways.
Yes.
But I'm on an online space. I make and people say they don't understand. All the time I turn around, you posted. But if I don't post and people don't see me and they're not going, because it's an online business.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's online. And that's why now I'm this is I'm gonna have to talk about this on another call, but I'm gonna start, doing streaming. I did my Girl Don't Count Yourself Out a live launch in Dallas. A friend of mine for my first book, we kept in touch. She has a TV network in Dallas, Zondra TV Network, okay? And she owns it. And each of the authors that wanted to do this, because some didn't want to, we did a photo shoot, and they had 30 minutes of an interview, and it's streaming on Hulu, Roku, and Amazon, Fire, all this stuff right now, to this very second. Wow. So at the end of the event, she said, this girl don't count herself out. She kept hearing it all day. She says, you know what? I like that. And she says, I'm going to give you a TV show. And I was like, huh? What do you mean, a TV show? And she said, no, a TV show. I said, a TV show? I said, well, we're here on the interview. She says, no, Sabrina, a TV show, I said. So you're going to be doing the same thing. So long story short, I'm training now, because it's a process. You can't just jump on and say, I'm on TV. You don't know what you're doing, how to ask interview questions properly. And it's going to be, girl, don't count yourself out. Yeah. And I'm going to be interviewing authors and visionaries and stuff on and stream, because it's a new day. We got to go with the times. Yes. When things are happening, with all these TV shows and everything. I got to be up on it. I don't want to be lost in the sauce if they close down Facebook or Instagram or something else, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm relying and facing solely on that. I want to make sure there's other stuff, like we're on YouTube now. You got to make something. You got to think outside the box.
Other things. Yeah. And it's so funny that you said that, right? Because people are scared to go with the times. Now, I am not a metaverse fan. I have my own reasons for that, per se. And they've definitely been pushing the ads on me, like join. And they have a special space for educators and stuff too. But I bring all of that up to say is, people are scared of virtual learning. And I'm like, but you
Mm.
shouldn't be. What we needed to do in this pandemic was figure out how to grow our skills in the space, because it's possible to do. It's not impossible. Does it work for everybody? Perhaps not, right?
Mm.
And that's okay. Everything's not going to be for everybody. But there are children who learn better this way versus being inside the classroom. So why
With all
should they
that
not have,
chaos, you got
yeah,
to too much
why
to think
should they
about.
not have that opportunity to learn differently? Schools,
Yeah,
let me tell you something. School has been crazy since we got back. I'm gonna just be
girl,
transparent. There has been so many issues.
going
Uh,
on. Yes.
it's a lot, and I'm like, this is it was schools wasn't perfect before, but
Mhm.
coming off the pandemic, it's just been chaotic. Everybody's been exposed to different things. Kids are talking different things. There's no structure. For a while, it's just been it's been a battle. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
fully transparent. It's been a battle. And
yeah.
so the staff that work for me, I'm like virtual. And this might be the shift that we're gonna take with going virtual. And doing more in the virtual space. Like I had virtual before in 2015 when a lot of people wasn't even on it. But I
Oh,
was doing it as luxury, right? Because up here we got bad weather and stuff. I don't want to come open this school building with all this ice and snow. Let's
yeah.
jump online.
Okay, so
And so
you had done that prior to the pandemic.
yes, I was doing, it was really a luxury type of ordeal until we got hit. And I was like, oh, this is what it has to be. And then when I had both sites, I had the kids talking to each other on Zoom and stuff anyway. So they were used to it because we were doing our weekly affirmations with each other from both locations. It was the only way I could leverage me. That's my theme
Okay.
too, girl, this year. Leveraging me. That's my theme for the year. Leverage me.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And so it was the only way, because I mean, I can't physically be, if I got one school over towards Brooklyn and my other site is in Queens, I couldn't be at both places. So I'm jumping on Zoom and I got all the kids on Zoom so I could see what's happening. I'm watching teachers that way. I was, so when the pandemic hit, it was just like, well, let me continue watching classes, and the kids are already comfortable with being on. And it shifted my business a whole lot, because now everything we do, all our classes, we build digitally. We teach them live in person, but we build digitally for backup, which I wasn't doing. Yeah. It forced us to to move quickly, but also for me to build out more content. So like I got at least 300 classes in my vault that's already built that I can just pick, flow, and go. And so now with the baby, I'm like, I'm in a spirit of shift again.
Yeah.
Leverage me. I gotta leverage me.
Right.
And the best way to do it is in this digital space.
That's right. That's right. That is so right.
Yes. And that's why I'm thinking, with Omar, okay? Like,
yes, I gotta. When you gave me you dropped. I don't have that thing, but boom, you dropped today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you did. You got me thinking, and I kind of put it on a back burner for a minute because I'm trying to figure some stuff out. And instead of just me, I'm thinking of all these different coloring books. But you know what? What's the next step? Because I got 5 now. I got 3 in the making, and then. But if I don't change or add something to the platform, it'll keep doing what it's doing right now. They're selling here, they're selling there, put them on Amazon, but then what? What else is next? What's the next step for Color with Omar? So so now you got me thinking. I'll keep you updated.
Look, not only that, I mean, if you ever did something with some type of children event with Omar and have people come out and do a big coloring event of some sort.
Now that was one thing I said in the springtime I wanted to do. I don't know how I'm going to put it together, but I think it should be easy. Even if you have to do it in a school, daycare or something. I want to do a Color with Omar. I do want to do this year. Well, let me rephrase that. Because I like to speak positive things into the universe. Yes. I am going to do. Me and Omar are going to have a Color with Omar event this summer, springtime, right before school is out. You know, I want to catch them either during school, while school is, before June, or in the summertime. We're going to have an event here locally, and we see how it goes. Because if it goes well, then I can push it and pitch it. Maybe Omar go on tour and do it different places.
I'm trying to tell you.
Omar goes on tour.
Omar goes on tour.
Yes,
because I'm like, listen, it works.
He has a page on Instagram. He has a page on Facebook. I run the page, of course. And then when we do pop-ups, he has his own banner, and I bring him with me. I bring him with me because he's the face of it, not me.
Yes,
His face is on the book. My face is not on the book. It's him. It's about him. It's not about me.
This is what
so
I
push it like it's a real business because it is. This is him. We got t-shirts, coffee mugs, girl, bye.
Yes. Yes. And this is what I'm saying. If you had something that was even subscription based, those become gifts for your subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Sounds like I got some work to do. Some marketing, yes.
Listen,
being an entrepreneur is evolving, you thinking and growing, and it's always something else you can do to get to that next level.
Yes,
that next level.
Look, that's how we shatter the glass.
And you know what? That is how that's how I'm doing it. Growing, evolving. Not counting myself out. Not counting myself, not counting Omar out either.
Yes.
I'm just, even though it might be something I'm thinking about it, I'm like, ooh, that's way off. But this like, how can I do this? How am I gonna pull this off? What do I need? Who do I need to get on my team so I can make it happen? Instead of, girl, I ain't got no money, I can't do that. Because even like I said, I want the trademark. I know that costs money. And you know what I told my girlfriend? I said, I got that on layaway, meaning I'm saving my money and it's gonna happen. I mean, I know you can't just pull it somewhere out of the sky, but that doesn't mean it can't get done. People save for cars. They save to buy shoes and Gucci pocketbooks and stuff. I'm saving for my brand. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Same thing. Ooh, same thing. Same thing. Oh my God. All right. So wait, we done been all over, but I just love the flow of our conversation. When is the time that you shattered the glass?
Well, you know what? Just like I said, I think, and this is really the answer. I think when I got that business license, I think the glass started cracking then, because I took myself. It was a next level step, because I was doing stuff. When I signed up, got the business license, got the business account, got the business, and started running it like a business, putting the business first. That's when the glass started cracking, but that's when it started shattering. You know what I'm saying? And it was not just one thing that I did. It's a series of things as an entrepreneur that I do inside my business, getting clear, investing in myself. All these things start cracking, shattering the glass. It's not just one thing for me. You invested in yourself, knowing what your shortcomings is, being clear and honest with yourself. I told you, I started out doing anthologies. Some of them I had no business doing. It had nothing to do with the visionary at all. It's that I saw it and I was thinking in my head, because I wasn't clear on who and what I was supposed to be doing, that if I keep jumping on these anthologies, people would see me and be like, oh, she's bad. She's doing this, but I'm all over the place. Now, I wasn't talking about stuff that had nothing to do with myself. So I still was always in line with what I was talking about. But some of the things that I was doing wasn't in line. I was just doing. I wasn't even advertising about half the stuff. I was just like, I'm in a book. I got 4 books. I got 5 books. I got 6 books. But nobody saw it because I wasn't even posting. I just was doing it to say I had it, because I wasn't clear on who I was or whose I was, because that makes a difference too. Okay. And I wasn't clear on my purpose, but now that I'm clear, And there's nothing wrong with the anthologies, because I'm not saying I would never do one again, but it has to be aligned with what I'm doing. It has to be a reason why I'm doing, a purpose behind it. People always say that. I used to say, I want to. Before Ellen retired, I want to be on Ellen's seat. I want to be on that white leather sofa. I want to be on Oprah having conversations for Oprah. You know how she was doing all those conversations.
Yes.
I want to meet Oprah. But you know what? I want to be somewhere in this social media space where Oprah wants to see me. Like Tabitha Brown happened to come across something and she'd be like, who that girl? Girl, don't got the stuff out. Bam. Because it does happen,
Yes.
It does happen. I want, Yana Van Zant to be like, wait a minute, I saw something, because it happens because I took a coaching program from this young lady regarding coloring books. When I started doing coloring books, I just didn't start doing them. I had a vision and I said, how do I make this happen? Because that was it's not the same. Okay. Yeah. It's not the same. You're not writing, you're getting illustrators, you're going to hire folks. And I took a training class, and the girl that I follow right now, she sent the book. She sent the book. I don't know how the girl got the book. Well, Monique got the book, the comedian Monique. So she did a commercial, like a TikTok, or she was on Instagram, and she shared how she was on the airplane, and when you quiet time, you're sitting back, and she said, I like the color, and she showed her book random. She didn't tell her to do that. She don't know where she got the book from. It happens though. Yes. So I'm at this space now. I love, I admire Oprah and Viola Davis and all these people, but I want them to admire me too.
Yes.
That's where I'm at, That's the space where I'm at. So that means you have to change your mindset, of who you are, know who you are, and your value. I mean, we all do different things. Am I Oprah? No, but Oprah ain't Sabrina either. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that. I mean that I've done more than her. I'm not saying that, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I see the value in her, and I want people to be able to see that value in me. Period. Yes. It's not even a comparison type of ordeal. It's just, that sister is dope. She has value. This sister is dope. She has value. It's remarkable. And I get it. I totally get it.
It's almost like I saw the other day on Facebook where somebody said, I wish y'all would support your friends and your family and your co-workers as much as you support these celebrities, and they don't even know you. You like wishing them happy birthday, Merry Christmas. They ain't even probably gonna see your stuff. Okay. Listen. But your girlfriend over here that got the business, you ain't said nothing. You scroll past her stuff. And that's the truth. It really is. The truth. And I understand that, we understand as entrepreneurs and business women that, our family and our cousins and your besties are not our customer. We get that. But, the post, it just resonated with me because it's so true. We over here shouting out folks and stuff, because I've done it. I be all on tap of the bar, hey girl, whatever. She don't know that I got her stuff and I said it was the bomb. But you do that stuff. But the difference between me and that person is I'm supporting my sister. Right. Because whether we're connected, like, besties or not, when somebody is on there, I'm buying stuff, whether I read it or not. Because sometimes I don't read, I'm buying it though. I'm supporting you. I do that, with the like, with the share, with the financial support, with the donation. I do that because I'm that person. I always want to do things that I want people to do for me, whether you receive it back or not, tenfold. But I always put myself out there like how I want to be treated. And I figure it's going to come. So I step out on faith and I just hope it comes. People say, don't expect you and others, but I do expect me and others. I do expect, but if it comes or not, that it is what it is, but I'm still not going to change how I treat you. Because I'm going to treat you how I want you to treat me.
That's word.
I said what I said. Yeah, that's the simple how it is.
Yes. No, I totally get it. And we talked about that too. And it is important if you're watching this and you are wanting to become an entrepreneur, or you've just started and you're figuring things out, hear us clear. Your family and your friends are not your customer base. You have to figure out who your target audience is. Yes. It is wonderful when they do support you.
Yes.
right? It is wonderful when they do, but I don't want you to get caught into those feelings of if they don't.
Yes.
And
'Cause it
everybody
happens.
goes through it. Everybody goes through it. It's like, well, damn, why my cousin couldn't just buy the book? Why my
Yeah.
cousin couldn't get the t-shirt?
Yeah.
You know what I
And I
mean?
told you before that people said to me, you like I have so many books that I call. They're like, you just did I just buy one? You know, you can't expect if you got 10, 15, they, every now and then you turn around, they may not want to do that. They may want to like the post and move on. They may not even want to like the post. But
Yeah.
I had to get to a point where that was okay. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop me from doing what I'm doing because I'm grown. I know who I am. So what I do now is you have to be really secure who you are, what you're doing, and comfortable in your own space. I
Yes.
post it, I put it out there, and sometimes I log the computer off. I'm not sitting here waiting, looking for the likes and looking for the I mean, when they come, because I used to do that. Like, okay, it's been 5 minutes, ain't nobody saying nothing. It's been 17 minutes. All right, I've got a cheeseburger. Come back. They still like, you drive yourself crazy. And then you're getting upset and getting all mad. Girl, you laughing because you know it's the truth. Girl, people be doing that. And you know what? You know what I don't do? And I'm not knocking anybody else that does this. This is not for that. When I'm doing a live, I'm not waiting for you to come on. I'm going to say what I got to say and get off. Because let me tell you something. I do the live and you know it's at 9:30 and it's 9:48 and you ain't on the call. Well, I'm going to wait for one more. Nope.
Yeah.
You can listen to the replay because my time is valuable. I said 9:30. I put it out there. I'm going to say what I got to say. If 2 people come on or no one comes on, because it's been like that where no one came on, but then I see the replay 53 people because it was a timing thing. Everybody is not on the same time. And it's okay. You still speak your truth. You say what you got to say. And it's well with my soul. And I keep it moving.
Yes. Yeah. That is the word too. No, it's serious because you do have to develop this layer of tough skin where you don't take everything so personal.
Exactly.
And the bigger you become, you have to be okay with understanding that you're not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah. And you know what? And you're not for everybody.
And you're not for everybody, right? You're not for everybody. You're not for everybody. I always like the analogy of when people talk about they use the bread in the store, right? So don't tell me that you can't make a loaf of bread because there's bread in the store. When you go to the aisle, there is tons of different breads that are sitting there, right? It's just a different brand, but guess what? There's people that are going to attract themselves to the type that they like. And so you can put yourself on that bread shelf and there's going to be people who are interested in your bread. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's going to be something unique about your bread that they want, and that's what they're going to continue to come for. It doesn't matter that Wonder Bread been there for 100 years, and and Sara Lee's had a bread for 100 years. If you have something that people like and that people are attracted to in some type of way, whether it be the taste or affordability. I mean, you don't never know why
packaging or whatever,
packaging, everything. Then shine your light on your spot and on the aisle. You are just a part of the aisle. You know what I mean? And be okay with that. But that's tough. It's tough to do. It's tough to do because and that's why I like your whole theme of girl, don't count yourself out, because a person of a different mindset would see all of that. Like, why would I make a bread and there's 1,500 different breads here? No, girl, don't count yourself out because your bread could be different from those other brands.
Exactly.
And don't talk yourself out of doing it.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Don't count yourself out, because we do. And my thing is, I knew when I created that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that's going through this. I was approaching being an entrepreneur and I was approaching 50. And I'm like, I'm 50, almost 50. Why am I starting a business? Nobody know, but I was counting myself out, because I was talking myself out of doing things, becoming someone, becoming who I am, because I thought a little things in my head said, don't do it. Nobody wants to hear what you got to say, or fear, or imposter syndrome, or lack of confidence. But when you find out who you are and you know what you invest in yourself and you educate yourself as well, on whatever your niche is, sky's the limit.
Sky is
Sky is the limit, and that's where I am. I'm not counting myself out. Is it a process? Yes. Sometimes you want to do something that's really, like you said, so big, but I just try to figure out, how am I going to get this done? Not I can't get it done. I'm not trying to walk on water. You know what I'm saying? So how can I get this done? It's possible. Tabitha Brown said it the other day, and I'm using her because I follow her and her story, that she did none of the stuff that she was doing. It's just she didn't think this 10 years. She wasn't doing that. We didn't really hear from her. She was doing little stuff here and there, but it's a process. You're thinking bigger, your mindset, being in the right place, connections. It's just a lot of things. And I'm just trying to put myself in my everything. Me being an entrepreneur is you asked me this question too. It's about freedom too. Freedom to, if my son is sick, if I had to take care of him, that I can still pay my bills. I can still take care of my family. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I got this car now. Oh my God, I can't eat out twice a week because I still, it's about, financial freedom, not just finances, but financial freedom, to invest in myself and be proud. My dad, he had a business after he left his job after truck driving for 40 something years before he passed. He bought trucks and had people working for him. So he did it for 45 years for someone, made a lot of money. But then at one point, getting older, you're like, wait a minute, I think this can be a good business. Like, why don't I buy 2 Peterbilt trucks? I'll drive one and then maybe get somebody else drive one. And then when I get tired and things happen to your body as you get older in life, I can still have somebody else going and still make money because you own them, right?
Right.
I'm thinking the same thing. I want to be that person too. I never thought about it when I was growing up, but this is the path God gave me. I had this child, he's special needs. Did I want this? No, nobody wants a child with any kind of nothing, but millions of people around the world don't have that option. This is what you have, unless you give the baby away. This is what you have. This is not the path that I wanted. I was in denial about it for years. I prayed about it. Like, God, just take this away from me. Get him right, Lord. Cover him, heal him, Lord. But I learned as a mom that it doesn't work like that all the time. Sometimes things go away and sometimes they don't. So now my prayers are, for years, I changed my prayers long time ago. And the prayers are, God, give me the strength to get through this. So I went from, Lord, take it away. I don't want it. Help him, heal him, Lord, to God, give me the strength, give me what I need, give me the tools. Because the other one wasn't working no way, because he wasn't taking nothing away. So now he gives me the strength. So I have bad days and days at which, like, he's nonverbal. It's hard for him to communicate. I don't know when he's sick, what's hurting, whether it's his head, his stomach. He doesn't really know he doesn't understand fear. He doesn't understand danger. It's just a lot. But I just pray that he gives me the strength and the knowledge and what I need to connect with him and figure it out. So people ask me, how do you know when he's sick? His dad asked me that a couple of weeks ago. Well, how did you really know? I said, because his eyes told me. He didn't say nothing. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, nothing. It was his eyes. I said, something ain't right. Now, I don't know what's wrong, and I'm not no doctor to figure it out. So you go to the emergency room. I want every test. I want something to walk out of here with something say penicillin, moxicillin, something. Right. You got to tell me what's wrong with this boy. And he was constipated. Okay. But I didn't know that. He was pointing to his chest. He could be having a heart attack.
Right.
And he don't know what a heart attack is. So do I give him Robitussin or try to figure out, give him aspirin? No. You're going to get an x-ray. I took him to the emergency room. He was constipated. I don't know when he goes to the bathroom because he doesn't tell me. He could be backed up, but we grown. When you constipated, girl, that feel like you about to die. when you non-verbal and you going through it, you don't know how to express that.
Right.
With your body is already going through other stuff because you got autism and your bone, cerebral palsy, and all that stuff going on, and all this stuff. It's hard. So I make that connection, and I connect with him through the face, through his movement. You got to just pay attention. As a mom with a special needs child, you have to pay, and any child, your child, you have to pay attention to what he says and what he doesn't say.
Yes.
Yeah, whether you have a special needs child or not, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, you have to pay attention, because you can have a child 5 years from now. He comes home from school, and you think, but you got to look at that boy and look at his eyes. You got to be able to have that connection with your
Yes.
child. Like my child, my son will be 29. He's grown, but when he comes through this door, his face ain't right. I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. Stop lying. What happened? Because I know. Because
Yeah.
we as moms, we're connected. We know
Yes.
at 29 years old, you've grown, you got your own house, your own kid, your own family, whatever. But I know, because I'm your mama, what's going on. We
What's
made that
going on?
connection. Okay. And I want to be able to grow out our plans with my son, because I know that it's going to be me and him, and my fiance, we're going to be together. He won't have that experience like another child, to be on his own, to have a quality life, a life with quality and purpose. For entrepreneurship, that's really what it's about for me. I didn't go into it for the love of entrepreneurship. Now I do love it, but I went into it for the love of, I had to do it. I kind of, I had to, because I wanted certain things for my life and myself, and that was the way. But now that I'm in it, I'm embracing it for all it's supposed to be, because maybe this was my plan anyway. Okay, God's plan. My plan was to work for Marriott full time for the rest of my life, but He said, "No, I got other plans for you." And this was His other plan. And maybe I didn't like the way He gave it to me, but sometimes He gives you stuff the way He wants you to have it. And maybe I needed to be passionate about autism and special needs children. I maybe needed to have that passion to show somebody else something, but He only can give it to me through me having my own. You get what I'm saying?
Not only that, you are treading a whole new space, right? And I say that with this, because of Omar and his condition, you are now showing moms what they can do with their own child that may have some type of condition or label or whatever, and also teaching them, your child may have this condition, but this is not all of who they are and all that they can do.
Yeah.
And you can work with your
this is
child
not
and
all
build
who you are as a
Right.
mom. This is not all you are. You're not just a special needs mom. You're a woman, okay, a mother, a daughter, a friend, or whatever, and you have a child with special needs, but it's separate, and that's my hope, that I think that I'm showing people, because people say all the time, how do you do this? I'm not anybody's, I'm not no more special than you. I just made different choices in my life. I chose for a long time to hide behind my son's disability for years. But then I got to a space where I no longer hide behind his disability. That was an excuse. Okay. Not knocking anybody else, but for me, I had to step behind that, because I knew that God put more in me and I had a different purpose. We all got different purposes. So you can do, I don't have any more gifts than anybody else. I just chose different things. I invested in myself. I did the work, but I'm no more special than anybody else that, that can do something. I can do it. You can do it. Somebody else, you're in my special needs group. They can do it too. And I tell them all the time, I just didn't luck out. I didn't luck out with anything. I just made different choices, and they can make those choices too.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it as a whole inspiring thing, because people just don't know what they can do if they've never seen it. And so I applaud you for being a light that we can all see in this space and in this time, right? There is a organization out in Buffalo, New York, and they actually work with families of families of children with special needs and stuff, but they do like special things where they take those children for like a weekend or something, so that the parents can have a break. Yes.
Okay.
And I was blown away by that, because I was like, no one checks in to know how these parents are doing. Everyone needs a break. I don't care if your child has special needs or not. You need
a break in general.
You need a break. And so, and and it's a lot. And so they do these weekend retreats and activities, some with the whole families and some where it's overnights. I mean, obviously you got to get to know everyone first, because I understand everybody's not going to just come like, I'm not just leaving my child there. But they do these different events to get people acclimated with the things that they do, and they've built this whole community. And so sometimes they were doing trips together, but they own the land that they're on, and so they built these cabins and stuff. So
I would like to hear more about that. I would like to share that in my group as well, because I that's the first time I heard about that. The only time I've ever heard about traveling something, I'm a cruiser. I like to go on cruises. We cruise every year, except for that year that first pandemic hit. We actually had a cruise. It was canceled. And there's this cruise organization on Carnival and on Royal Caribbean, but it's an organization with, that you book for the cruise. It's called Autism on the Seas. And I booked a cruise and I booked through there, and they have respite. You don't stay over there because you're on a ship, but you can party, they take the kids to the beach and all that stuff. And I'm like, my son ain't going to that. He don't want to go. And honey, I took him that one time, this was years ago, and he cried when I picked him up. I was like, wait a minute, you don't know these folks? But they're trained. They're trained, and they know how to relate, and it makes a difference. When you have children with special needs, they have to feel a certain kind of way, I would think. I would like to think. But yeah, he had a ball, and it's like, I tell people all the time, people say, you travel. No, you put it on layaway, girl. I don't take a cruise and say, here's my thousands of dollars. You put that $100 down and you pay long as you go, and you got 45 days or 75 days or 60 days prior to, and like anything else that you want to do.
Yes.
That's just like investing. Most investments, when you have to invest for training, most times it's not, I need $2,000 up front. I've never ran across one. And I've been with some high rollers. Most of the time you get one payment, two payments. Sometimes they'll do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Make your choice. Everybody doesn't know everything. If you want to do something, you want to grow your business, you want to get to that next level, you have to invest in yourself. Okay. Now, yeah, you can talk to the BFF. He's free. Okay. He is free, but you're going to have to do some work. Okay.
Yes.
You're going to have to do some work, where you're going to have to make some type of investment to learn another stuff. Because I look at it like this. You talk to him, he'll guide you and direct you. But at the end of the day, that person that's trained to do whatever in marketing and branding and whatever, they've been talking to God too. That's their purpose. Okay. So you still have to make some kind of investment. I like to think I'm talking to God for direction and spiritual guidance. But all in all, you still have to make an investment in something somewhere along the line, because everybody doesn't know everything. Yep. And how important to get into that next level? How important is that? Because now that I'm in business, and I'm not just saying I'm a business person, I'm paying tax, I got a business. I just don't want to have a business say, I got a business, I got an LLC. What does that mean? Am I making any money? What am I doing? Do I just have a business? No, I mean, I'm trying to, like I said, it circles back. I want Oprah to see, who I am, want to know me. I want them to say, oh, girl, don't count yourself out. Oh, I gotta buy that book. I heard it was hot. That's not far-fetched. It may never happen, but it's not, I'm not gonna say that it won't happen.
Right.
You never know.
Because you don't know. Let me tell you something. I know that you don't know. So that same conference, which is so funny that I keep bringing this same conference up. When one of the male speakers came up and said, like, you kind of know what you're supposed to be doing from your childhood. Think if you remember back. And he said you was doing it as a little kid. And the matter of fact, that childhood friend of yours that was doing it, would be the one to bring you back into the space or something to that nature. I don't know if you remember. It was I can't even think of the guy's name. The tall guy. Oh my God, why is his name escaping me? Anyway, I say all of that to say that when you do double back and you look at it, there's always an inkling inside of what we're supposed to do. We get the hints. Like the person who kept coming to you, hey, 5 times, get on this book, get on this book, get on this book, get on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
book.
yeah.
God will use people to come right back to you to get you back on
Yeah.
assignment, you know? And so it's funny because I keep thinking that it just keeps popping up in my head with this conference, right? Of that guy saying, you know, you don't know who it's going to be. And so I bring it up to say that after that conference, I met up with a friend of mine who's also in education. And I'm talking about, we are childhood friends, like 4th grade, we knew each other. And so, and been friends ever since. And so he works at Ron Clark Academy that's down in Georgia. And so I ended up going to Georgia after that conference, and then only to find out that Oprah, she came after I left because they were having their anniversary. And I said,
What?
damn it, I came on the wrong weekend. Do you hear what I said? She's trying to help sponsors their kids to also go to Africa every year, their 8th grade class. They go to South Africa to where one of her schools was at. And she donated, like, I think 5 million to their school or 10 million. Girl, yes. And I said, I was close. Do you hear what I said? So I said, I have to keep working.
Yes.
Literally, we are like 6 degrees of separation. And I started really thinking about it. I'm like, you know, everybody is reachable and touchable. And with social media now, you're really reachable and touchable. So
You
don't
just don't know,
count
honey.
yourself out.
That's why I'm gonna keep on showing up. I don't care.
Because I was like, wait a minute. And I love their principal. I love their school. I had such a great time. They made me feel like family. And so they are doing some great things in that school. And they're doing it differently.
Okay.
Like the principal challenged everybody to go into the community and go find a space that y'all can go teach a math lesson. Like he's an out the box type of thinker. And so I'm not big on sports, but whatever center where the Atlanta Hawks play, there was people in there. They did a math class in there. They did a math class at a local pool hall, like the Billards. And the owner of that place was like, what are y'all doing? And he just let them use his space to teach the class because he needed to see it for himself. Like he was so blown away. And so this is how they've been getting attention for their school from different places. Now I didn't see Usher there. I didn't see so many different now celebrities and stuff have gone there because of the work that they have been consistently doing in their school. And so they have not counted themselves out, which is how somehow
exactly
that their principal was on Oprah's book list. And so she's been a fan of his now ever since. I'm telling you, that's why when you said it, I'm like, yes. And it comes back full circle. And if it wasn't for that man saying it at the conference, I wouldn't be making all these loophole connections that I'm making, because it took me to go back to my friend from childhood to get to that school. I didn't even know he was working at that school till his sister was like, yo, you know, my brother's there. And I'm like, what? I'm like, he never even said anything. And so we reconnected. I stayed with him and his wife. They got like 5, 6, 7 kids. And it was a group of us educators together at his house, all going to work with him. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was so crazy. And like his principal was like, yo, what are you doing? You should have your own school. And I'm like, I should, but I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I teeter the fence with that in so many ways, because I have so many different ideas of what I want it to look like, but I'm going to follow you. Don't count yourself out.
Count yourself out. Yes.
You know, and I'm leveraging me. So I don't know what that means, but I know that they connected to Oprah, and Oprah be over there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, nothing is far, and they're probably thinking like, oh wow, but it's not far fetched.
It's not.
I'm just saying Oprah, but it doesn't have to be Oprah. It could be Tabitha. It could be
anybody.
I mean, whoever. It could be something. You just need that one thing to kind of like, sometimes I'm thinking I want to do something. I want to do this. I want to, like yesterday I was thinking, I was sitting in the house and I was like, I wanted to do this for like 4 years. I wanted to have a gala before the pandemic, and I'm like, we ain't doing no galas now. I said I want to have a black tie, a gala.
Yes,
where I donate the money goes to Tidewater Autism Society. It's a local Tidewater autism community nonprofit in this area where I live at. And I'm like, the donation to them because I do stuff, walks and stuff and raise money, but that would be good. Do a black tie. Everybody get dressed up in black, some fancy place. The money, some of the proceeds go to that organization because it's not about me. I could be the face of something, but it's not about me,
Yep.
And I want to do that. Right before the pandemic, I was looking at hotels and I was like, how am I going to do this? I told the Autism Society, this is what I want to do. And they were like, cool, we'll figure, we'll join with you. And I'm like, okay, I want to get Holly Pete Robinson. Somebody said, hey, no, you don't know her, but you don't know. I know a couple of publicists. You don't know if they can reach out or not. Can't come, might be too expensive. Tony Brown. I mean, I'm thinking of celebrity ones, Then I said, oh my God, maybe I won't do an autism one. Maybe I'll just do a special needs one because that broadens me, right? Because when you say autism, it has to be the autism celebrity. But when you say special needs, it could be autism, Down syndrome. And then I thought about it. And I still think about it. And I don't know how I'm going to pull it off.
When it's still sitting in your spirit, it's still supposed to happen.
Stephanie Mills is one of my all-time favorite singers.
Mine too.
And Stephanie, she has that son with Down syndrome. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I want Stephanie, and I mean, literally, I've been thinking about it for 2 years. I'd be following her. I see her with her son and snippets. I'm looking like, but it's been sitting in my spirit for 2 years. And who's to say I can't get Stephanie? You don't know. Stephanie might be listening right now. Stephanie, if you're listening, you see this video, let's connect. Stephanie Mills.
Come on, Stephanie.
Singer. Like, I love her. And,
listen,
probably my age.
I love her too.
Yes.
There is a family joke, right? When I was small, when she sung Home and the video for Home, girl, I jumped up out of my sleep and started singing
to this day.
To this day. That is one. I did not know that was one of your favorites, but she is one of my favorites. So come on, Stephanie Mills. I might even put a hashtag when this airs. I'm gonna put hashtag Stephanie Mills because we love you, Stephanie.
To this day, make you chill, but that one, the first line. I mean, you could be broke down, like the whole. I mean, chills. Like she sings a cappella, like random. Like she don't need no music behind it. Like nothing.
Yes. So okay, so wait. I don't know. We gonna put all of this in the atmosphere. People, when they see this live, they're gonna be like, "What in the world? These two here." Let me tell you something. We're gonna get Stephanie Mills. We're gonna call her spirit into ours, honey, because that is my favorite. And then I have been looking since I came up with the concept Shatter the Glass. I have been taken on to Sarah Jakes Roberts, TD Jakes' daughter. I don't know. I'm drawn to her. Like, I love her. It's video when she speaks. I'm like, yes, girl. You're talking to me, powerful. Girl. Yes. So I mean, it's a tone in the voice. It's the conviction. It's everything. And so I was like, oh, if I did Shatter the Glass as a conference, I want her to be a speaker.
Oh, yes. That definitely has to be a conference.
You know
we know, honey. Yes.
Listen. Yes. I don't know. And so my friend, because when I first mentioned Shatter the Glass, I told two people. And they were like, I love it. And then they kept saying it. Then I told it to my brother. And then he kept saying it. So then I said, I got to just do it because I didn't put it out here now. So that's how we really got here. Because I was like, nah, Shatter the Glass is something. People are going through breakthroughs. People have journeys. We can all learn from each other's journeys through these conversations. And then She did a talk on, I don't remember, girl just do it, or it was something, girl do something. And I was looking at that and I was like, yes. And I'm like, you would be the speaker that I want. Because she has an interesting story too. And I'm like, yes, continue to shatter the glass.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I don't know. I'm asking God for clarity and wisdom on this.
Yes, me too. Yes.
I don't know what it's gonna turn into. I love my little Reading for Smile stuff. I ain't trying to leave my babies just yet, but that's gonna grow up and change. Just like this has to grow and develop and change. But yeah. Come on, Sarah J. Roberts and Stephanie Mills. Come on, girl. We calling them.
Yes, honey. Yes, it's been sitting, and then people say, "Won't you get?" No, it's something about that. And I was like, no, it would have to be her. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't have it in if we put it out there, but you never know. And people say, oh, people call. You never know. You got to put it out there. Because if it's in her spirit to do it, she'll do it. She'll come, her and her son. You never know what somebody's going to do. It's not about me. It's about the event, about raising funds for, it could be autism. 50% of the funds can go to autism. 50% of the funds can go to Down syndrome. We got a local one, a facility here. I thought about that. I was like, I would love to have her. Like, I would love, that would be so powerful as, as the musical, The Gas. You know what I'm saying? That would be, that's my goal.
I just feel it. I'm just saying, okay. I don't know if I feel it because I love Stephanie, or I feel it.
Yes. That is something that is in my spirit. And I wanted to do it 2 years ago. I was like, well, I don't know. Somebody said Stephanie Mills. I'm like, don't count me out. You don't know. I mean, until somebody says no, until you talk to her publicist, her people, and they say no, she's not available, or no, it's $500,000, and that's what then that's when I'll move on. But I would have to get somebody to tell me that and confirm that that's what it is. But I don't know. It's been in my spirit so long. I don't know.
And sometimes a no is just not now. You know what I mean? It ain't forever. No's don't have to be forever.
Yeah. Because if she said, no, that date's not available, look, I'd be like, then what date is available? Because I'm not there, you say, that's when it is.
Oh my God. Well, we have definitely went through a journey today. Let me just ask you, what advice would you give to others who may want to write a book or do a collaboration project? What quick advice would you give before we close out?
What I would say, if you want to write a book, then I would say just do it. Just write it. I mean, everybody has a story. If you wanted to find out what your why is first, like, why do you want to write a story? Okay. Find out if you're doing it for impact, empower, inspire, uplift, support somebody, I say, go do it. And then if you want to do a collaboration, make sure that whoever you're collaborating with is aligned in your vision. Make sure that if you're jumping on someone's anthology, that it makes sense for you and your family, even if you're not a business owner. And if you just want to do it because you're a mom or you're a dad, or, you're just a career person and you just want to do it, just make sure everything's in alignment. Okay. And do your research on the person. That would go for me too. Don't just, jump, see something that's pretty and you click on it and you don't know who I am. Google that person, find out about them, ask a couple questions, go in the inbox, stop stalking them on Facebook and LinkedIn to see what that person really is about. I had to learn that, even though there's a couple of anthologies that I've been in and I said, maybe I shouldn't have been in, they all taught me something. Okay. But before I clicked the pay button, I always went back on their social media and see what kind of person they were, what they were all about. Do they love the Lord? Are they talking about Jesus? Are they positive? Or are they twerking on their stuff? I mean, I want to know what this person is. Like, what are they doing? Because you start clicking on folks' stuff, you don't know what they're doing, you don't know who they are. You be like, wait a minute, I don't this girl. No, you got to see who. You got to invest in. You have to invest. You should invest, but you need to invest in people that are in line with what you're in line with. I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. And my book is not for everybody. Even though it says, girl, don't count yourself out, it may not be for everybody. Like, everybody in the world it's not for everybody. Okay. Yeah. But I put it out there, and if it's for that person, I believe because it's an anthology, there's 13 stories in that book, and I believe one of those stories should be for someone, okay? Because I'm talking about unloading my baggage, the baggage that's invisible that people don't see, fear, lack of confidence, comparison. You don't see that in my face. You don't know it's there, but it's there. In order for me to go to another level, to even do the anthology, I had to unload my invisible baggage that I was carrying around with me. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to step up to the plate and say, you know what, I'm the visionary. I'm asking you to come to my vision, and I'm going to be the leader of this this book project. That takes leadership as a leadership role. But if I didn't unload my baggage, I couldn't have been able to do that, because I would be working with fear and comparison and confidence, and I can't do this and I can't do that, but I had to make some changes in my mindset. Like I said before, I had to, start doing more faith stuff than more fear stuff, but that took work. Okay. There's people talking about imposter syndrome and divine connections and grief, and it's a lot of different stories. That's why I like anthologies. So there's a story that you should be able to relate to one or more stories, but it still might not be something that a cup of tea for someone. They might not want to be empowered or be uplifted or hear that kind of story. They might want to see a novel, a murder mystery. They don't like those kind of stories. Some people like murder mysteries and action books, and they don't want that. It's not for everybody, and I understand that. But if you want to be a writer, I would just say just write, just invest, and make sure you do your research. When you do collaborations, do the same. Look to see the people that's in the book as well, that's chiming in, to see what it is. I had a lady the other day. She says, before I say yes, I need to know a little bit about you, where you come from. And I was like, that's the first time somebody ever did that to me. I'm like, okay. I said, I'm from New Jersey, but I live in Virginia. And she told me, she said, well, how many women are there? And then she said, can you give me some of the names? But I did that. So I'm out of privacy. I'm not doing that, because sometimes these projects are private. People don't know. And I didn't put that out there. And then, but she looked on my page and she strolled and she says, I'm in. But she did her research, for a little bit of research. She just didn't give me her money. She said, I don't know you. You don't know me. And then she told me a little bit about herself as well. And that's what I think that people should do. But I don't think that anybody should sleep on your dreams. Everybody has purpose in them, deserves to have the purpose, deserves the purpose to be to walk in their purpose. And I would say, talk to him, because he's free. If you don't have any money, talk to him, because he's free. Okay, he will guide you spiritually, financially, emotionally, and physically to the direction you need to go. And make sure that you be authentic when you're writing. That's a big deal, to be authentic. I tell people all the time, in my new anthology for moms, there's no right or wrong story, right? Your story is for your motherhood is not a good or bad. It's not a better. It's just a different journey. So that's why I love collaborations, because all these stories you put together as for moms, it's to uplift and empower a community. But there's no right or wrong. It's a different journey. Somebody may be walking through the same journey you're going through and didn't know how you got. Well, how do you get through it? Yanni, how do you get through this? I didn't know. Well, maybe you could uplift somebody if you had a story and you shared it, because it's your story. That's all it's about. It's about empowering someone else. Empowering a mother. It could be empowering a dad, empowering a young woman, empowering a grandmother. Just the community in itself. I just love anthologies. I'm just an anthology lover. I said that no, but that no was a no, but 5 tries later, that yes changed my life. It changed my life, because I said no, and I said no, a hard no. No, I might have said, I don't know. I might have said no. But I said no, but that no turned into a life-changing, because I didn't know what God had planned for me, the journey. I had no idea that he was laying the foundation for me to step into and walk into my purpose, So I would say, girl, don't count yourself out. If you want to write that book, write that book.
That, and people, listen, you can follow Sabrina on Facebook and Instagram at Sabrina T Speaks. You can also find Girl Don't Count Yourself Out on Facebook and IG. Follow her, support her, buy the book. Sabrina, as soon as you put your conference link out, I'm going to share that and stuff too. And hopefully if I get it, I can add it back to this video so we can, make sure that people can find a way to get to your event too, or learn, just learn more about and just follow you, period. Because yes, we all need to hear that. Girl, don't count yourself out. Please, please, please. First of all, girl, I got to bring you back. We need a part two because you have been the longest speaker that I have had. And
really?
So, yeah. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh my God, we have just been going on and on.
Yeah,
and we were going on before we even
It's
started.
so natural. I think a lot has to do with we haven't spoken in a while. We've been kind of hitting and missing on social media, so it's like as women, we just have so much to say. We can go on and on. So I think I need to come back.
You do need to come back, and plus we a vibe. This is how we became friends in the first place because we had vibes. So we set the bond. So listen, I get it. Well, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to Sabrina Speaks. You gave it to me already. Hold on, people. I'm gonna get this out here real fast so that listen, we don't have no problems. You're gonna say, you ain't see it, you ain't know. SabrinaSpeaks.com conference. Yes. Check out the site. I'm checking out the site. Let's continue to build and bring awareness to different things, and let's continue to empower and inspire our women. There's a lot going on out here, and right now I'm looking at community is going to be what keeps us everybody together, monetarily, emotionally, spiritually, and looking at Mr. Edward from last night, physically, okay, because you have to be in the right health set and mindset to be able to pull some of these things off. And so, I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. Much peace and blessings to your projects that you have with Omar and to this conference you're doing. I'm rooting. Please know you got a cheerleader in New York for you always.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right back at you.
Thank you. So everyone, please, again, hit the like and subscribe. Go follow Sabrina. We are out of here. Until next time, shatter the glass.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Yes.
Thanks for joining Shatter the Glass with Yone. Tune in next time to hear more breakthroughs. But before you go, share, like, and subscribe.
Oops, can you guys hear me? Hey peeps, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for jumping in tonight. Look at me, I took my earrings off and stuff. I was sitting here watching the replay with y'all, loving it. Definitely continue to follow the page, like, share, and subscribe, but also follow Sabrina. She is so dope. Toro, I hope that you do come on. Just jump on in. We'll talk about your experience overseas and stuff like that, and we'll also catch up. DeVal, thank you so much for the love and support all the time. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you guys did get some good nuggets from out of Sabrina. Like, I'm always still writing over and over on what people are doing. And then we also do have this event coming together on March 25th. It's in Harlem. I'm gonna put the dates out and put the information up, but that's for the women. Sorry, D. It is the swag event that I'm putting on. So it's Sisters with Awesome Goals. I'm just super excited about that. So on that note, now I'm out. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Actually, I'm back on Sunday with Dr. Tahiri Brackens. She is a DEI consultant, and so we'll dive deep on what that means, what she does, who she's serving, and what's the why for it. All right, but everybody else, good night. Let me see something.